Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Awesome Sauce EDU podcast, where I'm shining a spotlight on awesome things happening in the classroom. So for this video, I'm trying something a little different. I'm trying to record a YouTube video that I'm also going to convert into a podcast. So if you're watching the YouTube video, make sure you subscribe. If you're listening on podcast and you get confused just from the auditory descriptions, feel free to go check out my YouTube channel. The link will be in the show notes, and you can get the full video with a full explanation. Today's episode, I'm going to be spotlighting Curipod. Curipod is an AI tool that allows you to create presentations or lessons for students, and there are a lot of AI enhancements to it. So let's get going. First of all, I want to start by saying that the Curipod version that I'm using is free. I try to avoid paying for a lot of these products just because it's not in my budget. However, if you've got a budget, it's worth the upgrade on some of these things. But just for my purposes, I don't have a budget to pay for these things. So I'm using the free version of Curipod, and so everything I can do is available in that free version. The first thing I want to point out is there are a lot of pre-done activities that you can launch into that the kids love and enjoy. Some of the ones that the kids have really enjoyed that I've actually done is I've done this one called Combine and Conquer Sentence Superheroes, which it's an activity where it's great because you click on it, you type in a topic. So you could do, Taylor Swift. You would type in what grade. And then once you launch into that, it will create a lesson for you. And this one gives you multiple sentences where the students combine together the sentences to either create a compound sentence or just combining it to just one sentence. It's great practice for being more efficient with what they're trying to say. The other thing I like about it is when they give their responses, AI provides feedback to them. Now, I would never trust AI as of right now. I don't want AI being the sole feedback that my students receive. However, if I have to give feedback to 26 students in my class every single hour, that is not only exhausting, but it's impossible to get to everyone. This at least gets them some feedback so that I can make it my goal that I'm going to give personal feedback to a certain number of students every single day. And then the rest of the students are getting this AI feedback. And that way, once or twice a week, I'm giving personalized feedback directly to them, but they're still getting in that feedback loop. So Combine and Conquer is a great activity for the students to explore. One of the other activities that is great, I like this vocabulary one. You give the students a vocabulary term. It's called Vocabulary Meme Battle. And you put in the vocabulary terms you want the students to work on, and then they have to create a meme that helps explain the definition of that term. And the students get to see each other's memes and vote on which one they like the best. So it's a great activity to get the kids going and introduce some new vocabulary. The other thing I like about the vocabulary meme battle is it's something that could apply in multiple subject areas because everybody has vocabulary they could introduce to their students. This is a fun activity at the beginning of your lesson, you want to introduce vocabulary before you read a text. This is a great way to do that. Another activity that I really enjoy is there is this one called Word Wizard, and it's just an activity where the students are given a series of letters, and then they have to write out as many words as they can around those letters. And what's also great about this is, again, it gives the students AI feedback. So they make their entire list of words, and the AI tells them how many of them are actually correct words. So that avoids you from having to go around and check every single student's list. It tells the students if the words are correct. Okay. Now, those are some of the pre-done lessons, and there are a ton of great lessons on here. And in fact, they're constantly adding ones. This is one I saw recently. I haven't tried it out yet, but I really want to. It's called Spot the Scam, where students are able to they're trying to discover which influencer is scamming them. And so, you get to pick a category, you get to give the influencer a name and do different things. I haven't actually done this activity yet, but this is one that I saw someone else talking about that I definitely want to check this one out. This is one that I will probably do in the fall when my students come back. Now, it's not just pre-done activities that you can do, although there are a ton of them. Like I said, I'm constantly trying to find new activities. In fact, before I launch into the next section, I just wanted to say that one thing that I like about these activities is there are those moments when you had a lesson that was supposed to be 45 minutes and for some reason it went 30 minutes long. You got done early. Okay. This is something that you can really just plug in and launch, and the kids are still being engaged with something academic, and it's going to improve their vocabulary and their writing skills. And it doesn't take a lot of prep on your part. There have been times where I finish the activity for the day, and I'm like, you know what, I've got time. I can have them read a book, which sometimes I'll do that. But sometimes I need them to be interactive or engage in something, and so it's a great way to fill in some of those gaps in time that you're trying to find something to engage the kids with. And like I said, it's also great for those intro activities at the beginning of a lesson. Now, what's also great is you can create your own lessons. Okay, and what's nice about it? Let me open one that I've already created. What's nice about it is these lessons are literally just dragging and dropping different activities into the lesson. So it's like a slideshow. And so if you click on, when you get into you'll click on create your own. And there are 6 activity types that you can add onto this. So there is open question, where it asks an open-ended question. There are drawing activities where the students will draw and then they get to compare 2 drawings to see which one best fits the prop. There's a poll if you want to get students' feedback, how they feel about something. There's a word cloud. And then the 2 ones that I really like are there's one that's AI feedback. So when the students write something, it gives them feedback based on what they wrote. And the second one is the AI whiteboard. Same thing. They draw a picture and then they get AI feedback on what they drew. So for example, for this one right here, and then if you just want to add these, you click on it and it just adds it in. And there's a lot of customization that can go with this. Now, I created this presentation for a presentation I did at KU recently. And so I launched into the beginning of the lesson was how you have the students, in this case, it was this professors at Kansas University in the School of Education. They were learning about AI. And so I had them come up with 3 words that would describe their dream vacation. That put that vocabulary up on the screen, which was great because if you've got students who are struggling to get started with their writing, starting with that word cloud gets them engaged in the lesson, gets them engaged in some vocabulary they might want to include, and gets them a starting point for their writing. For example, if you were doing ancient Egypt, you might, some kids may write Pharaoh, some kids may write Anubis or the pyramids or the Sphinx. So all of those things would be up on the screen so that when the kid starts to write, they've got something to recall and add into their writing. The next thing I had them do is I had them write a paragraph describing their dream vacation. And what's nice is as they are describing this paragraph, as they're writing about their dream vacation, once they get finished, it gives them some feedback. The AI gives them some suggestions on how they could improve their writing. Now, one thing that I'm not a fan about with Curipod, and I'm hoping they will provide an update at some point, I would love if the AI feedback had a text to speech feature where it reads it out loud to the students, because sometimes if you've got a lengthy feedback list, sometimes it's a little bit much, and I want to make sure that the students are getting everything that they possibly could out of that feedback. Okay, so they wrote their paragraphs, and then I did a poll and had them ask them, how confident are you in your paragraph? Okay, so they reflected on that. Then I had them do the same paragraph again. So they revised their paragraph, they wrote another one after they got the AI feedback. The second time, again, they're getting feedback from the AI. The other thing I like is not only are they getting this feedback from AI, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a whole paragraph that you're having them work on. You may just want them to work on their thesis statement. And so they write a thesis statement, they get AI feedback, they write it again, they get AI feedback. So they're constantly honing in on their writing. Then I had the students complete a poll. How confident are you in your paragraph? Almost every lesson I do, I try to work in some of the drawing piece because kids love to draw. They laugh about it. They have a lot of fun. And then finally, I asked the professors how they could use it in their classroom. It's a great way to engage students. This is an activity that could take about 15, 20 minutes, but it gets students practice writing with some direct feedback. Now, it doesn't just have to be working on that writing piece, it could be working on that writing piece and connected to any content area. Another thing I like about Curipod is they can, when they do their Curipod launch into it, it's really easy for them to access it. They go to Curilive, Curi.live, and then they launch the pin. And once they launch that pin, it actually goes right into the activity. So they don't have to have a sign in, they don't have to do anything other than go to that link, put in their name, and then put in that pin number. Now, after they're done with the activity, this is another thing that I really enjoy about Curipod. One thing that I really like about Curipod is once they're done with the activity, you get a report of their work. And in this case, there were a lot of things going on in the room when I was presenting, but it gives me feedback on which students were completing each activity. I get a summary that tells me the most common understandings, most common misconceptions. And then my favorite part is there's this action item that tells you a possible follow-up activity you could do to work on those things that the students misunderstood. So in this case, with the dream vacation, it said that they should work on a uh, dream vacation fair where they're presenting a travel booth with a detailed paragraph about their dream vacation. Okay, so it gives you something else to go off of. All of that is generated by AI. And again, it gives you something to move forward with. Okay. It's still, like I said, they're constantly updating this, they're constantly making changes. And so these are just some of the things that I like with Curipod at the moment. As with any AI tool, I'm going to tell you pick something that you think looks interesting and stick with it. Don't try to do everything all at once. Choose an activity, try it once or twice, decide if you like it, then try another activity, try it once or twice, see if you like it. Don't try to do it all at once. You can't do it. You'll stress yourself out. There's so many AI tools out there, it's overwhelming. So Curipod might be a good place to start, especially if you're in that upper elementary, middle school level. It's really in that wheelhouse that'd be a great activity. I think you could do it with just about any age group, but that really to me seems like the sweet spot. So that's all I've got for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Hope you enjoyed the YouTube video. As always, until next time, book forward and be awesome. Because everything is awesome.